time. I'd like to call to order today's Plan and Zone Commission meeting of October 18th. I need to ask anybody in the audience to please mute your phone so it doesn't interfere with our audio system. We have one public hearing item. Roll call, please. Commissioner Tallman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Schneider is excused. Eichelberry.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Tallman here. Ingram.
Present.
Hepner.
Here.
Bransgard.
Here.
Reinhardt's excused. Manus.
Here.
Garrington.
Here.
And Stelk. Here. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Tallman. First item of business under the public hearing, case ORD 22-01 is a request of RY Holdings LLC to amend Table 17.08-1 use matrix of the City of Davenport zoning ordinance to allow dwelling, single family, as a permitted use in the R-MF multifamily residential zoning district. Matt?
Sure. So a private property owner has petitioned a change to our zoning ordinance to allow for single-family dwellings within the multifamily residential zoning district. So if approved, this would be a city-wide amendment, so it would apply to all RMF zoning. So the RMF district really is intended to provide for the highest density of housing within the city. It allows for semi-detached dwellings, two-family dwellings, townhomes, and multifamily dwellings. So really the only housing type that's not allowed under our current ordinance would be single-family homes and manufactured homes. So single-family dwellings defined really as one dwelling unit on a single lot. So it's allowed by right in our R1 through R4 residential districts, as well as some of our commercial districts and the village of East Davenport. So city staff are reviewing the proposal and its potential impacts on the city, and will provide a formal recommendation at the November 15th Plan and Zone Commission.
Thank you, Matt. Commissioners, any questions at this time? Commissioner Hepner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt, what's your definition of a manufactured home in this particular instance?
So I will say that there is a difference between a manufactured home can be built, like an off-site building can be built in a residential district. Manufactured home in our sense are like a trailer park home, like that is a trailer that's set in a trailer lot.
Okay.
But Matt can get you the formal definition in just a second.
So I could provide this too in the staff report for next meeting, because it's quite a long definition. But really, a manufactured home is a prefabricated structure that's regulated by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development via the Federal National Manufactured Housing Construction and Safety Standards Act of 1974. And then it goes on quite a bit. So I'll provide that in our analysis.
That sounds good, Matt. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Eichelberry.
Yes, I suppose I have a question about if there, for this single-family dwelling, there would be no restrictions on acreage or size of a structure that was permitted. Is that correct?
So when we come back next meeting with our recommendation, we will propose those. The applicant actually had proposed those as part of the petition, and so we are reviewing those as well. And so associated with that change, we would also provide recommendations on the minimum lot standards.
Thanks.
Commissioner Manus.
Thank you. I am wondering if there is a particular project that caused this request to come forward that is a part of it and that will be presented to us as well. And that was the question.
So it's twofold. And the conversation I had with the petitioner and the engineering firm is about a specific property. However, it is something that staff have discussed over the course of the last few years as well, because this isn't the only property that it impacts. So it's some, if this zoning text change happens, you'll see the project come through for subdivision, but you wouldn't need to see it for rezoning or anything like that.
And I would concur with what Laura just said. That was discussed in our 2019 rewrite, so just didn't make the cut, I guess. Anybody else at this time? Would the petitioner, if they're present, like to speak? If so, please step up to the podium and introduce yourself.
My name's Scott Ryder. I'm the petitioner, and so we're looking at doing a subdivision in this area to match the streets that are next to it. So we're trying to do the exact same that is what is the adjoining streets that are doing it. So just the zoning, I guess, doesn't match. I mean, and my understanding is other cities or areas normally that going from a multifamily to a residential to do a single family would already be congruent, but we have to do this petition.
Thank you. Would any commissioners like to ask the petitioner anything? Seeing none, thank you. Would anybody else like to step forward and speak either in favor of or opposition to? Seeing none, final call for questions of commissioners. Seeing none, we will close case ORD 22-01, and that will return to us, I forgot to write the date down. November 15th, with a recommendation from the city.
November 2nd.
November 2nd.
November 2nd. Typo. November 2nd.
I was going to say, that's quite a stretch.
Or November
but-
1st, the first.
Or the 1st.
Sorry.
The meeting will be in the same place, same time, 5 o'clock on November 1st. And that will conclude the public hearing agenda. Roll call for our regular meeting, please, Commissioner Tallman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Schneider again is excused. Eichelberry.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Tallman here. Ingram.
Present.
Hepner.
Here.
Bransgard.
Here.
Reinhardt's excused. Manus.
Here.
Carrington. Here. Stalk. Here. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Tallman. Report of city council activity, Laura?
So the rezoning for 1200 East 39th Street, which is the Conic Collins group, did pass. They waived the rules and did second and third consideration at the same meeting. So that has passed. You will, in the near future, although I don't have exact date, we'll do the final development plan for that PUD. That's
Thank
all.
you.
That's all I have.
Secretary's report?
Move the report.
Second.
Secretary's report's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, it will stay as written. Comp plan, anything, Laura?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Zoning activity, we have one item, is case REZ 22-06, is a request of AHHE Coatings LLC to rezone 516 West 35th Street from C1 Neighborhood Commercial District to I1 Light Industrial District. Matt? Oh,
Thanks.
and I so move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Matt?
Thanks. So the subject property is highlighted in yellow on the map. It's located just north of West 35th Street, between Harrison Street and Marquette. So just to the south is Jones Park and Duck Creek. And the fire station's over there on that intersection of Harrison and 35th. It is just north of the Duck Creek floodway and does have some floodplain on that southern portion of the property. There's currently 2 vacant buildings on the site. The petitioner stated that their intent would be to demolish the structures and to build new for a light industrial type of business. So it's currently zoned C1, which is neighborhood commercial. So starting at this property, continuing east to Harrison is a C1 district, and then immediately adjacent to the west and to the north is I1 light industrial, which is the applicant's proposed zoning district, which does continue north to Kimberly Road. And then just to the north, you have C3, which is general commercial, focused a little bit more along Kimberly and Harrison. And then to the south is open space. So future land use map, this property is within the regional commercial designation. It is on the boundary of industry. Staff feel that a rezoning to light industrial, given its proximity to industry, would not require an amendment to our future land use map. So the purpose of the request is to redevelop the site for a light industrial type of use. So the C1 neighborhood commercial district, it's really intended to provide for commercial uses that predominantly serve the needs of nearby residential neighborhoods and are compatible in scale with the character of the residential area. Given the zoning of the surrounding area, there actually isn't residential in close proximity. However, there is adjacent light industrial, which is meant for a variety of light manufacturing type of uses that are generally done indoors and have little outside impacts to adjacent properties. So notices were sent to abutting property owners within 200 feet, notifying them of the public hearing. No members of the public spoke at that meeting. Staff also published a notice in the Quad City Times and have placed a sign out at the property. To date, no written responses have been submitted. So staff are recommending approval of the rezoning application subject to the listed findings and conditions. So findings would be that the proposed light industrial district is generally consistent with the comprehensive plan and adopted land use policies. The petition is compatible with the zoning and land uses of nearby property. The rezoning request is compatible with the established neighborhood character. To the north of West 35th Street, which includes a variety of light industrial buildings and commercial establishments. As conditioned, the proposed amendment will not negatively impact the public health, safety, and welfare, and it will not create any nonconformities. The one condition recommended by staff is that adult uses shall be prohibited.
Thank you, Matt. Commissioners, any questions of staff? Seeing none, is the petitioner present? Would you please step forward? I couldn't see it very well in the shadows back there. I didn't know if that was you or not.
Yes, sir. My name's Ryan Scriven. I'm the petitioner for the property. If there are any questions.
Any questions, commissioners? Commissioner Hepner.
I'd just like to thank you for taking initiative for the blight in the neighborhood, so good job.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I would have to concur with that. I drove by there a couple times and it's getting pretty
They've been
disparaged.
vacant. The buildings, whether, I mean, they have to be tore down no matter what. The floors are falling in. They're built on a crawl space.
Mhm.
And it's a homeless camp. Both buildings are homeless camps right now.
Sure,
So,
I appreciate it.
thank you.
Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any questions remaining? Final call? Seeing none, roll call, please. Commissioner Tallman?
Somebody have a question?
I actually do.
Commissioner Eichelberry?
I have a question for staff. I noticed, you have the no adult uses as one of the recommendations for future land use. Is that because of the proximity to the park? Okay, so I figured. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Eichelberry. Final call for questions? Seeing none, Commissioner Tallman, roll call?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Eichelberry.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Tallman, yes. Hepner.
Yes.
Bransgard.
Yes.
Manus.
Yes.
Garrington.
Yes.
Stelk. Yes. Motion carries, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Tallman. That concludes the zoning activity. It appears as though we do not have any subdivision activity. future business? Laura, anything?
Yes.
I know better for asking that question.
So you will have the recommendation on the zoning text change at the November 1st meeting. And there will also be another public hearing. We have a right-of-way vacation and a rezoning.
Thank you. Any communications, anybody? Staff, Matt? Nothing? Commissioners, I see nothing. Any additional business or other business?
Move to adjourn.
All in favor of adjournment, signify by aye. Aye. Opposed? We are officially adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.